friends. How are you doing? It's me, your cutest of the petuniest, Shyaren. I wanted to talk about you today about one thing, one simple thing that is not so simple after all, how I got my HRT, how my journey went. And of course, your mileage may vary depending on which country you live in. And even in different countries, different states can be different, this is just my story, okay? So the first thing is like you need to realize that one, you even want HRT, which means before that, you need to realize that A, yes, you are trans, and B, yes, you want to do something about it, okay? Something to feel better, something against the dysphoria, something to be your true self. Not all people who are trans decide to take HRT, and they are valid as well, 100%. Not everybody wants that. You can be trans and not do HRT, just to be clear. But I knew very early on when I realized that is something I wanted to do. So that is something I seeked out. So I had my real inner coming out in February of this year, okay? But for years, I've basically my whole life, I've known that I was a girl, okay? So I had the inner coming out, and then very quickly, I read through so much information on how to even get HRT here in my country, in Germany. And very quickly, I realized I needed a letter from a psychologist called Indikationsschreiben here in Germany. It's basically a letter telling you, yes, you're trans. It would be very great if that person got HRT because that is very beneficial for their mental and stuff, okay? So I had two options from that point on. A, I could have searched for a therapy place, which, oh my God, I don't know how it is in your country, but it probably would have taken at least 6 months and up to 2 years to even get a spot. And then said therapist would need to have like multiple sessions with me to even write me that letter. But I went through some forums, talked with some people, and then realized that there is the option to basically have like a one-time meeting with a therapist to get that letter. And I'm not sure if like all countries it's possible to do that. And of course, not all therapists do it, okay? So I Googled and got some recommendations. So I found one therapist in a different city who did like online Zoom meetings, one-off sessions for that letter. And I got an appointment like pretty fast, okay? So like a month, 2 months after coming out, I had my letter basically sent to me by mail. And yes, I did have to pay for that appointment by hand. There was no like insurance covering that, right? Because it was like an extra service. It was like $100, but totally worth it to like basically skip all the waiting time for an actual therapy place. And just FYI, non-medical advice, but for many people, it's probably still good to look for a therapy place, even if you decide to get like a one-time appointment, right? Because it's a lot of stuff to unwind and stuff, right? I still want to get therapy at some point. I still don't. I'm lazy, or it's ADHD. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard even looking for spots, okay? So anyway, so I got that letter sent to me, and I had that letter basically since like April or something, right? But it wasn't until like almost 6 months later, until October. Technically, it was like five-ish months. Yeah, 5-ish months. And like September, I decided, okay, it is time. I thought about everything enough. I'm 100% sure I do want to take HRT. So I did have like a list of names of like all kinds of different doctors that can give me HRT with like recommendations from like a local trans help group. And I decided to make an appointment with one of them in a different city. And I went there on Monday this week on the 7th. And yeah, basically on the very first appointment, I got asked all kinds of different things. If I'm sure, if I know what the effects and the side effects are, if I want to freeze my sperm or something. And all kinds of that things was asked. And I had to sign some papers. And then basically he already asked me if I wanted to like get a recipe for the medications. Of course, of course I wanted. Okay, so basically I got the thing for like the gel. I have like a gel for estrogen now. We're gonna start with some gel and probably later go into like the tablets that the feminine, if you wanna call them that. And I'm supposed to take that for like a week now before I start with the T blockers, the testosterone blockers, which I also got because he did say, the doctor, that technically you can start like both at the same time, but if you like mess with too many hormones in your body at the same time, it can be like very mentally taxing. So I decided to, take his advice and like only take the estrogen for like a week and then take the second medicine as well. So yeah, that was basically my journey. And I know people from online, from forums, sort of read, you can even expedite it, right? Like for me, I could have had the HRT basically in like May if I made the appointment earlier, but I 100% had to deal with some personal stuff. I wanted to like 100% be sure, and then I was. And so I waited like a little bit, right? But if it's an option for you to get a letter for HRT, like online from a therapist there, make sure it's like an actual therapist and not like some scam, okay? And that's like can expedite the process so much. And I know, sadly, I can't really give advice for people in our countries that are not in Germany, but I'm pretty sure there are some local trans help groups, or like maybe a forum, or even you can even go to like Reddit Ask Transgender and ask if there's some people who have like experience in your country. And I'm 100% sure and confident that you will find help and they will send you on the right way, okay? It might be a hard journey, but it's so worthwhile, okay? It's so worthwhile. You can 100% expect me to give you some updates whenever I notice my first changes, basically, okay? Basically. I'm also gonna make like a second trans update video at some point within the next 2 weeks, very likely. If you remember, I had one on the channel very early on, and I'm gonna have another one now. And then whenever more changes happen, I will update you as well. But yeah, that is basically the story of how I got my teddy gel. Oh yeah, see you later.